knowing that you'll respect them in the morning with intelligent talk that stimulates.
Welcome back to Inside the News. This is our Picking Up the Pieces segment, and we've got the three of us here. We've got Ben, Frank, and myself, and this is one of our topics up in the first segment, and now we've dropped it down to segment number 4, and I texted this out to the guys a day or so ago, and Ben and I had a chance to talk off air about this, and it's talking about agriculture and about China buying up a lot of soybeans. Ben?
Well, look, China has been very active in the agricultural markets in the United States. It is one area where we have something that they need, and that is food and food products like soybeans. China has a huge population, is growing in wealth. That means the calorie count is expanding in China.
So is their waistline.
The desire for diversity in food sources is growing, and they have the wealth to go out and purchase food on the global markets. And the U.S. is still one of the primary bread baskets of the world. So, and it is one area where, yes, Donald Trump has been pressuring the Chinese to address the trade imbalance partially by buying greater agricultural purchases. And you add in another factor. There has been massive flooding in central China this year. It has been an unusually heavy rain year, and many of the rivers in central China have flooded their banks. Some of the biggest dams in China, like the Three Gorges Dam, have been threatened. Actually, their viability of the dams have been threatened, and a lot of engineers have been worried about some of these dams because the water levels are so massive and so high. And the Chinese have had to release water and flood downstream areas pretty considerably. So it's an impact. They need food grown in America right now. And as far as I'm concerned, that's fine. Let's sell them what we can.
You know, Frank, it truly is amazing that of the whole globe, our farmers here in the United States, they produce the best crops. They take care of the land and they fertilize it. And you see those combines out there, which are not cheap, by the way, anywhere between $400,000 and $500,000 per combine. That's a lot of money, and yet they deliver on a massive scale, not just for this country, but for the world.
There are certain foundational structures which the United States has, which puts it in a really good position. Our breadbasket for the world capability, we are now energy independent. In fact, we can supply energy to our allies. These are two key factors which make sure the American economy is going to be dominant for many years to come. We hear about the Chinese overtaking us, but the reality of it is, as long as America is energy independent and food independent, those are aces in the hole that really can't be beat.
All right. Now, let's get back to the pandemic. We have not talked about it in this show yet. And cold weather is going to be coming. And Ben, I know you go through clinical trials and things like that, and you're well aware of that. Where's the status on the pandemic right now?
Well, a lot of concern. The numbers are increasing in Europe, and a lot of the countries that had the strongest lockdowns are facing the biggest rebounds, whereas Sweden, which had no lockdown, has the best numbers perhaps in the Western world right now. So the Swedish approach has been largely validated, which is one reason why you don't hear them mentioned at all in the Western press. The UK is going back under lockdown. Boris Johnson has caved in and to the hysteria over the numbers. A lot of the numbers are the virus spreading among young people and better testing showing the numbers. And we know one thing from the science. As far as young people are concerned, if you're under 40 and you're healthy, this is no different than the flu. Every now and then there's going to be a story of some healthy 20-year-old dying from COVID-19, but the same thing happens with the regular flu. Every now and then someone healthy and young dies from it. But if you look at the real numbers, it's saying that it's really no different. As long as you don't have serious health issues like obesity or diabetes, and you're not of advanced age, this is really no different than the regular flu.
30 seconds. Herd immunity seems to be paying off for the people like what Ben was just talking about, Frank.
It does, but there's a story behind the story. Isn't it fascinating? that this pandemic, which has caused more harm and more deaths to the American civilian population than anything in history, there is no expression in the media of outrage against China's malicious actions in allowing this to spread. If you need any more evidence of China's lockstep control of the media, this is it. Any mention, any criticism of China seems to be vanished, seems to be gotten on the proverbial spike before it even gets to the headlines.
All right, and on that note, we're going to take our time out. This is going to be our final one of the program. This is Inside the News. We've got Ben, Frank, and myself, and we're going to be back, put our hot buttons on the program.
You're listening to Wehman, Brunson, and Vernuccio, Inside the News.